The province is funneling $30 million into a training program with hopes of adding 15,000 First Nations people to the workforce. Despite the gloomy weather, there were plenty of smiles at the announcement today southwest of Prince George. The funding is meant to give First Nations the skills they will need to capitalize on an LNG boom.
The sparks were flying at the O'Brien training compound, but in the best possible way. It's an example of the types of training programs the provincial government targeted today.
Over the next 3 years, the BC government will invest up to $30 million in a new Aboriginal skills training development program.
The funding is available to First Nations communities poised to take advantage of the burgeoning LNG industry.
Over the past year, we've done a lot of consultation, a lot of work with the nations to develop how the program should be managed and how we'll bring forward the various components of the program over the next 3 years. And so that's sort of a new approach that we've taken, and I think it's been very successful.
Well, it means our people could get any kind of funding they want to get funding for. When it comes to pipeline, to trades, and I believe managerial, business, it's just a start of something bigger for our people, I think.
John Rustad calls it a win-win. First Nations can access training specific to their needs. And with 50% of the First Nations under the age of 25, the province needs the workforce.
When you're looking at liquefied natural gas, you're looking at really our whole resource sector. For many decades, First Nations have not really been a part of this. And given that, it's on their territory, and quite frankly, with their young population, we really need their workforce, and it's the right thing to do for the nations.
The rural nature of many of those First Nations is one of the greatest barriers to access. The idea is to have all the pieces in place before the anticipated LNG boom.
So we've been trying to get out in front of that, start the training, get this sort of process in place so that when we do get final investment decisions, and I'm expecting some this year, we will be in a position where First Nations have the opportunity to fully capitalize on the work that's going to be created.
Industry says with community-based training, there's a 92% success rate. But Taylor Cross says for the First Nations youth, this kind of training is a golden opportunity.
Let's go step up and get trained. Let's not just sit there and wait. Each individual's got to step up. I always tell a lot of our younger kids, get a trade, and that's your ticket to anywhere.
The province will seek to leverage this new funding with additional money from the federal government and industry. Cheryl Jan.